Did you know you can give ChatGPT an image, have it analyze it, and more than that, you can have it create a .cube file, which is a LUT, and then you can bring that LUT into your favorite software, whatever it is, Final Cut 10, Premiere Pro, or DaVinci Resolve, slap it in there. You can give it references. And we did an episode on that and it actually failed really bad. But this time, the results were very, very surprising. Because this video, I owe it to you guys right here. Power Studios commented on our last ChatGPT video, said, don't add 4 to 5 images, because if you guys haven't seen that video, you should go check it out. There's gonna be a link somewhere. But I ended up giving ChatGPT about 4 to 5 reference images. He is saying, try using 1 and you'll be surprised. The results should be much better. So we're gonna give that a try. And that's what inspired to do this, another episode in this series, like right away. And if you guys are super confused to like, what am I doing in this garage? It's because of this right here. If you don't follow my car journey, I am crazy about cars. This is out of this world. The hype is real. There's nothing like Lambos from like this crazy shape. I mean, just look at this. Somebody took a freaking sword to it. V10, naturally aspirated. You can see the engine right here. I mean, the theater on this car. You don't have the words. I mean, it's like my mom is not a car girl at all. She doesn't know anything about cars. And she said, it feels like there's a beast behind us, like that is just ready to be unleashed. Crazy, her words. And it's like, that's exactly what it is. Now, let's get back to the video. Those that don't know me, my name is Qazi. I've worked with brands like Adidas, Amazon Prime, Universal Studios, and I make just straightforward color grading tutorials so you can work with your dream clients. So this time we're going for Dune Part 2 look, this guy right here. All right, you can also think of it like very close to Blade Runner 2049 inspired, but it's good. It's good. It's so good. So, okay. We are listening to our viewer, Power Studios. Okay, so don't add 4 or 5 images. Keep it simple. Put 1 image. Okay, so we're going to do exactly that because it is a very strong look. So I already exported this. And let's just do it one more time. I'm going to ask ChatGPT what it needs, but then we will feed it what we want to feed it. All right, so I want you to take a role of a colorist and you use DaVinci Resolve. I'm going to give you a reference. It's from Dune Part 2, and I want you to generate a LUT for me. The footage that I'm working with was shot on Ari Amira. I can provide you with a log image from my footage, also a balanced shot, so you have an idea where we're going to be ending up after doing our transform. Does that work for you? I'm also going to provide you with a reference image so you can create a LUT that is very accurate. Is this good enough or do you need anything else? All right, let's send it. Ari Amira, I knew it's gonna mess up some stuff. What else? Dune Part 2. Okay, send it. Okay, that will work. Good. All right, I'm gonna give you one thing at a time and I will just preface what's coming your way. So let's start with the reference and then I'm going to provide the rest. Where is it? Here's our reference. All right, so let's go ahead and export our log too. So I'm going to get rid of this, save it here, export it. Let's throw it. Okay, so let's see. Very warm, monochromatic bias toward orange-red with minimal hue separation. So that is very good. So this time we're doing this differently. Last time we batched it up. This time we're giving it one thing at a time, and it's actually helping us to see how well it's analyzing the shot. So it picked the color palette. I mean, that's a thumbs up from a pro colorist. Contrast high with lifted blacks and soft roll off in the highlights. Whoa, this is insane. So that's a tick mark. Silhouettes, preserve detail in shadows, but overall lean toward deep blacks. This is scary. This is genuinely scary because this is actually gave me goosebumps because let's just say the last time we tried it, the execution wasn't there. The brain is there. The skill isn't there, but the brain is there. And that is pretty freaky. What is this? That is pretty freaky because we're one update away from getting some really, really interesting stuff. All right, so this is, I'm impressed. All right, so now I'm going to give you two images. Obviously, the flatter one is going to be log, and then the other one is going to be balanced. And then just take that and then generate a LUT. Now, when you generate a LUT, I'm not going to tell it that. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to tell it to cook it in like Rec 709. I'm not going to say to make it in DaVinci Wide Gamut. I don't want to give it those inputs. We can fudge with it a little bit later. So let's go ahead, load up. I want to give it balance. So this is our balance. And then, you know what? Let's throw our balance in here too. So log, let's just call it that too. So it just knows balanced. I'm very excited. Let's see. All right, so while this is happening in the background, I gotta tell you, this live event that I'm doing with a massive giveaway, $9,350 worth of products, you just cannot afford to miss it. Most importantly, after October 6th, you will not be able to get Freelance Colorist and Qazi's Toolkit. Those products are off the market. So what's happening next? You need to be at that event to find out. It's going to be one of one. I don't want you to miss out. We only have a few hundred spots left. Registration is free. Secure your spot. Link is in the description. Check it out. Let's get back to the video. All right, so it took 1,000 years. So obviously I'm gonna skip that part of the video and it finally generated, let's see. I generated a LUT for you. I'll use a lighter weight algorithm to build a 171717. Okay, this file will be small enough. I give you the code. If you like, I can give you a Python script. I mean, what is it doing? You're just overcomplicating everything. Just give me a 33 by 33 LUT and we should be good. So this is, you guys just saw, like, this is another thing that happens. Like, if you just don't give it enough information, then it will sometimes do too much. And that's why it took so long. It was just doing too much. So this is why these exercises are so good, because we're just learning. The first time, maybe we gave it too much information. This time, maybe we didn't give it enough. What we're about to find out. So let's do this. Let's put it where it goes, LUT, and ChatGPT. So cool. It's like, oh man, I'm so excited about this series. And I'm like so pumped that you guys absolutely loved it. All right, so let's do refresh. It's here. Oh man, moment of truth. Okay, so these are just like input and output, IDT, ODT. I mean, the same old thing, right? Like watch any video and you'll know what this is. You can watch the deep dive. If you want me to do a fresh deep dive, I can on color management. Drop a comment. But there is a video about that. So just do color management on my channel. You'll pull it up. All right, so we'll do this. Our look is going to go here. So the LUT is going to go here, but the balance is going to go here. If we need to make any changes, you know, who knows? So let's pull up our scopes. All right, this is cool. Let's go to LUTs, ChatGPT, Dune. Oh man, I'm like getting very excited. Let's drop that. Okay. Oh, I didn't even read this part. Right now, this is an identity LUT baseline, no transform baked in. Next up, I can remap, blah, blah, to your reference. So you can actually get, yeah, do that. Like, what does that even mean? Why would I want that? It didn't do anything. Guys, read. Don't make the mistake I just did. I mean, this made no sense what it's saying. Like, dude, I want you to but again, we're getting upset. But what if we just didn't give it that information? We didn't like spell it out. It could be on us. So I'm actually not going to be super pissed because this is great because now this makes it very different than the last episode. All right, so let's drop this. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's not horrible. It's not as bad as the last one. At least we're in the same wheelhouse, right? So, I mean, that is impressive. And Power Studios, like, respect, mad respect. So your suggestion was on the money with that. We just had to kind of like marry the two things, give it a little bit more information, and then don't overload it. And also, I think the step in which you provide the information is very important too. So we gave it the reference, let it marinate, analyze it, and then we did step by step. So that helped too. But what am I looking for? I'm looking for this. Let's pop this open. All right, so I mean, the first thing that we see, what's the difference between the two? Ours is way too overexposed, right? This is where, like, your color grading chops will always come into play, right? Because when the client wants this, they don't want that. So when you use ChatGPT or a faster route, you're not really doing anybody any favors because they still are not getting what they're looking for. So now that we're looking at it, we're going, okay, it's too overexposed, so we got to bring it down. So let's try to do that. So if I go in my exposure, HDR palette, and go under my exposure and drop it to around the same place, I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, you got to think about that, what it's doing. So this is going to be one version, and we're going to save it. We're going to go here. We're going to save it. We should also save our baseline. And now we're just going to build another version using Resolve tools as a professional. So I'm just going to actually create I want to do this. I want to go here, delete this. And now I want to save this. So now we have this version saved. What am I doing? So we have this version saved, right? Yeah, we do. We have this version saved right here. And now we go to 2. And I'm going to reset this. I'm going to reset this. This will still be our balance. Now we're stepping into the pro world. And we're going to do 2 of these. Okay? And this is what's going to happen. Let's analyze it really quick. Let's analyze our Dune, because this is what a pro does. First thing, let's do 4 up. Study it. How would I create it from scratch? Okay? So I'll look at it. My entire story is right here. Okay? The meat, because it's so healthy, it's like monochromatic, just one color. We can see it in our vector scope, right? We can see it in our colorized waveform. There's only one color. Beautiful. There's something amazing about it. And look at the vector scope. It's not passing the crosshair, which means it's living in the same quadrant. So that's a monochromatic image right here. Look at the parades. Reds are sitting here. Greens are sitting here. Blues are sitting here. But everything is so healthy, so meaty. Nothing is like flatlining. You can even see it in our histogram. Same story, right? So we got it. We understand what's going on. That's why I love colorized waveform, because if I have this turned on, I can't see ish, So you got to turn this on. Now, we just know what we need to do. Now we just have to go and do it. So the first thing, I would do is I would just start with my overall contrast. So I'm going to pull this up, and I'm just like looking at waveform to waveform, just the contrast. And all I'm going to do is HDR palette, right? Let's drop it. Let's drop it to something like that, right? Like something like that. Nothing too crazy, but even something like that is not bad. Next thing, lock in our 18% gray.
Okay, I did a video on that, on contrast, to understand why I'm doing that. So you can watch that video. 335, 18%, locked in. 18% means, like, my main meat of the image now is going to be locked in, and everything is, the elastic push is going to happen on the top and the bottom to open up my image, to pull up my image, but it's not going to yo-yo my overall exposure. That's the entire idea. Okay, so where do we want to go? I'm just feeling it out right now. I think this is pretty good. World of a difference, man. This is why our jobs are not going anywhere, because you still need to understand this. You still need to do this as a professional. Looking good. It's good. We have to come back and drop it more because we're seeing like this image is, even more meaty. Anytime you want to get the most juice out of your image, you're going to keep it around 512, like 640-ish. I mean, I just want to like give you another example, completely different, off topic. Maybe we can create that look too. But like, look at this, okay? This is Sicario. This is a day shot. This is around noon. Look at what's going on, where everything is sitting. Like, what? This is another shot. Look where everything is sitting. The whole movie was like living in here, in this world. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks absolutely stunning, okay? So anytime you want the most juice, you want to keep your image around here. I'm not saying don't ever go up top. I mean, everything is going to be different. If you're working on a commercial, that's going to be played with a commercial before yours, and after yours, something else is going to play after yours. You can't drop it to 500 because everything else will be so bright and poppy, and then yours is going to be so dull. But when it comes to narrative, music videos, different story. All right, back to our topic. If we're looking at this for a simple comparison in our exposure and contrast, we're starting to look pretty good. Now we're going to do something so magical, you're going to love me forever. Okay, you're going to name your next kid after me. I mean, this is not even a question or a debate. I'm just telling you. Color compressor. Okay, we're just going to go and type in color compressor. We're going to drop that on. What needs to happen? Well, what needs to happen is that we need to get rid of blue. What are some of the ways that you're going to get rid of the blue? If you're a beginner, you're going to jump straight to your daddy qualifier, right? That's the way to do it, because, well, how else are you going to do it? So let's do it. Let's try it. You're going to go right here. You're going to do this, right? Wow. It was so easy. This is perfect. Let's even give you the benefit of the doubt that you know what you're doing. Okay, so you did that. Then you're going to go, let's give you more benefit of the doubt. You're going to go in your HDR palette offset. And you're going to be like, bro, I freaking got this. Watch me. And you go and you do something like this. And you're like, dude, I got it in the bag. I hit it. I made it. This is really beautiful, right? This is amazing. Now go from shot to shot and try to do that. It's absolutely garbage. Like, you cannot retain it, like, at all. Not to mention that it's doing some funky stuff that you have to clean it up, and you're going to have to watch so closely. I mean, what is this? It's just going to become a disaster. Anytime you want to do big things like this, you want to do it on a very, very massive scale, which is why a lot of these big movies, they do it. I mean, Craig Fraser is known for like doing it over LED, but Nolan would do it like with practical sets, and Tarantino would do the same thing. A lot of these guys try to get everything right there and then, because nothing will look as good as the real thing. Okay. So Blade Runner was the same thing, right? Like, it was just one giant area that they lit with those like orange lights, and then it had that. So it was really easy to just then dial the whole thing there. But how do we do that? Don't do that. Okay, so that's one thing that we have to do. We don't do that. Then people will resort to these options. They're all cheap and they're all horrible options. Don't do that. Okay, the easiest, the fastest, the most natural option is this option right here. So what color compressor does is, like, it's going to say, hey, pick any color, like from here, and then I'm going to bring everything close to that color, okay? I'm going to help you do that. I'm going to compress all the other hues to that one hue that you're going to pick. So I'm just going to make it super simple. I'm going to go here and I'm going to pick this hue. Okay, nothing happened. What's going on? Start doing this. Well, nothing is happening, dude. I'm not going where I want to go, but like, look at what's happening on the vector scope right now. That is so interesting. If I keep bringing it closer, I did it. Look at this. This is crazy. You're like, bro, this is worse than the qualifier. What are you smoking? And you're right. I don't know. Sometimes I just make stupid choices. Until I use my saturation, and then all of a sudden I just blended it in, and now it's the most beautiful thing ever. Like, what just happened, Qazi? Bro, you guys are probably getting so lit. I'm getting lit by my own work. Look at this. What just happened? We did it. We're there, right? So the big thing already happened. And now think about with qualifier how hard it was to do that. Whereas here, it's just math. We're just taking this, bringing it all in. We don't have to like manually move something, see if it's gonna match 100% or not. No, it's real easy. I go on my HDR palette, I go on my offset, and I go, oh, we gotta make it orange? All right, let's make it orange. I mean, I say we're looking pretty good. I mean, I say I take these two and I do this. This is where we started and this is where we are. And this is just using Resolve's basic tools. I mean, you kidding me? I didn't even have to rob you to sell you my tools. How horrible of me doing that to you again and again. I saved you from myself. But I didn't. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to save this version. So by the way, now here's our LUT version. And you can clearly see this ain't this. So we're still really far from where we want to be, okay? Let's lock it on the same frame. Because this looks so much more natural. Like, I was there. Okay, let's save this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete that, okay? And I'm going to call this color compressor. And I'm going to call this look, okay? I'm going to use 2 DCTLs that are going to do a way better job, way faster. First, we don't need to do this contrast because this contrast will never match the film contrast, okay? Film contrast with Kodak 2383 where everything sits, that S-curve, it ain't this. This is just a dumb, regular S-curve. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to choose Look DNA. I am going to come down and I'm just going to do preset Kodak 2383. Wow. Okay. Now, if we go to our reference and we look at it, and if we just look at the contrast, like it's so gentle. It's 100% like in that ballpark so effortlessly. Okay. Now, at this point, we can go to color compressor, drop this DCTL and select color compressor. Okay. Very different to what we were doing with the resolves. Because here we can actually get to pick whichever hue we want just like that. Makes it super simple. So let's say we pick this and then we get these bunch of different options to what we want to do. We have a lot more control. So I'm going to take everything that is close to this color and pull it closer first. So it's a lot cleaner, like this result. I'm going to go closer to this color, pull everything in. Then I'm going to go to the farthest color and I'm going to start bringing it into where I want to go. Like, why is this important? Because every color grading is all about nuances. So we want to get these variations. Like the other one just got way too flat. You see this variation that's happening? We want to get that. And the other one, we just couldn't get it. It was just like too like the same, okay? Here, we would be able to. So watch this. Now we have this, right? I'm going to come out of here and I do before and after. I mean, this is not exactly where we want to go, but that's okay because our balance options right here are set exactly like if you've made these changes in camera. Very different than what you can do in your primaries. So in your primaries, if I do this, this is what's happening. What is this crummy crap? Looks like garbage, okay? If I were to do the same thing with my temp here, look at how different these results are. And now if I take my tint and start going in that direction, take my temp, go here, take my tint, and go here, you're starting to see, I'm going to take my temp and go all the way and then pull it back. I want to go far because like, look at this to look at that. Okay, so that's why I do want to go far. What we need to do is we just need to pull the image down a little bit, okay? We just need to do that. So now that we're getting in a similar, I mean, now look at this. You understand what I was saying? Like now we can do one more thing. Saturation here is very different than YRGB. Way more sophisticated saturation model, okay? So we can just go in here and see what we want. Like, do we want more or less? Or were we there? I think just pulling it back a little bit, just a hint, I personally think does not hurt. Temp and tint, how are we looking? Yeah. So like, look at this area. Look at this area right here. And again, we can open up our contrast a little bit actually. So I'm going to go in my mid Y, because if I turn this on, you'll see what's happening. So mid Y is our middle of the contrast, and open it up a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much, okay? So now if I close this off, and if I look at what's happening with my image and where I'm bringing it, it's actually getting in a very healthy place. I mean, we can even drop this a little bit more to give it that meat that we're seeing here. And now if we look at the two images and we just do this, I mean, come on, just tell me that this is not looking super, super close to what we got going on. We can even go in color compressor right now. And what we can do is this. We can go in our color compressor, right? We can go to our target hue and start moving it. You see what we're doing now? And just like that, we can actually make it match very closely to what's happening here. And now look at it. So I'm going to go to our reference, match this. I'm going to go back to Dune. And now if I do this, like we got it a lot closer. Or again, we can go in more of that red space, like right here. I think we can keep it somewhere around here. And that, I mean, after this is going to be just like pixel peeping, to be honest with you. But I feel like if we just park it somewhere around here and we look at the two images, I mean, we haven't even created a vignette, because if we create the vignette, we're just obviously there. Because if let's just do it. So if I go here, and obviously, you know, that's not going to be fair, because then we should create a vignette on the other ones too, and we can. But if I just do this, if I just do this and feather it out quite a bit, invert it, and let's go here. Because see, now that's bringing this, right? So that's bringing that. I think we want to go in the window and open it up a little bit, because we're like really eating into. Right. So like, look at that. Look at that. So all the orange is coming from there, right? And now if I just do this to that, let's not forget where we started. I mean, we started with this, right? We did our balance. We did our look. We did our color compression. And then this is where we ended up, right? So now, if I were to show you the other versions, so let's just say we get rid of, or actually copy paste this on everything, so then it's fair, and copy paste it here. Now let's look at all the versions. So we have this, you know, basic tools inside Resolve, and we have this. That's why, take it or leave it. Laugh or cry, whatever you want. There's a reason why professional tools exist. There's a reason why professional services exist, because there's just no way around it. And it's just faster, it's smoother, it's better. And everybody on the top level, top tier is doing it, is using it. Okay. So now, if I just give you all my versions, so I mean, look at the sophistication here versus here, like how everything is getting clippy and weird, and there was just no granular control. The different tonalities within that orange that we created here using our sophisticated professional color compressor tool compared to ChatGPT. Once again, drop the ball. I don't know what you guys think, but I personally feel like, again, it has a long way to go, but there were some really interesting things that were happening. And let's give it some credit because this time it did a much better job than the last time.
So there's a lesson here. We saw a huge improvement from the last video to this video. Yes, it didn't give us what we ended up creating, but so much of the magic is hidden in how you ask it, what kind of information you give it, in which sequence you go and provide that information. And I feel like that's why this series is so exciting, because we're all learning together to use this to our advantage. Because at the end of the day, we're seeing that it's only going to get us so far, and then we're going to have to take it from there. So that's just what it is. Like, I mean, it's not, it's let's not be like, oh, I hate AI. Let's, have it do 40% of the grunt work and then you come in, right? So that's the entire idea. If you guys have any other movie suggestions, if you guys have any suggestions regarding how to use ChatGPT better, drop it in the comment section below. Do not forget to sign up for the live event because it's coming up and we have spots filling up. I think we have a couple of hundred spots left. So join right now. It's a absolutely free registration, free event. But what I'm going to be announcing there, you will not get an opportunity to get that stuff anywhere else afterwards. So you do not want to miss it. It's really, really big. Plus, massive giveaway, $9,350 worth of products. So try your luck, sign up for the event, and I will see you guys there. Peace.